Congratulations, Paul. Good going.
Thank you. You know, I'm not used to this, one would think, in front of a microphone in Muzzy Field for all these years. Would you believe I'm nervous? It was once said by many people, actually, don't put Paul in front of a microphone because you'll never get it back. He can go on for hours. Well, tonight, maybe only a half hour. No, just kidding. 5 minutes, they tell me. Congratulations to the other inductees this evening. Feel proud. I know I am. You know, actually, it was 44 and a half years ago, after I had been discharged from the U.S. Air Force. I did nothing for a couple of years except look for a job, and a co-worker one time said to me, "Have you ever joined the American Legion yet?" And I said, "What's that?" So I joined, found out it was a group of veterans just helping community, didn't know what I could do. One day I went to a game or two at Muzzy Field one summer, and I went early. You see, I enjoyed baseball the most. It's my favorite sport, especially youth baseball. I love to see the development of a young man enhance his skills. So I decided one day I'm going to go early. I was there an hour before game time. I wanted to watch batting practice. I wanted to watch infield. So I was by myself in the stands an hour before the game. And all of a sudden, out of the dugout and opening the field gate was this tall, lanky, white-haired gentleman. Again, I was the only one in the stands. He came directly up into the stands, walked right up to me, stuck his big, bony hand out, and said, "Hi, welcome, I'm Doc Gilhooly." I said, "Hi, Doc." He said to me, after several minutes of conversation, he said to me, "Would you like to join the Legion Baseball Committee now that you're a member of the Legion?" And I said, "What would I do?" I said, "Yeah, all right." And oh my God, look what I got into. But anyways, I'll never forget that night. So I mentioned Doc Gilhooly. Doc Gilhooly, one of my all-time friends and mentors, and a member of this Hall of Fame. Many people, you know, it's tradition, and one comes up here and accepts his award, and he thanks his family. That's tradition. Well, I'd like to thank my family of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of ball players, coaches, veteran officers, members of the American Legion, committee members, all through these 44-plus years. Those are my family. But there is one special mention I must single out, and he was mentioned earlier tonight in a monologue, and that was another big mentor of mine who is here with us tonight. He spent 63 years with Bristol Legion Baseball and continues to do so today. Fran Mullins, thank you so much. You've been a mentor of mine too. You know, years, so many ball players, every once in a while, every year here and there, a ball player will pop up at a meeting and say to me, "Did you play Legion? Did you play high school baseball? Did you play college? Did you make it to the minors? Did you have a cup of coffee up at the majors?" And the only way I could explain to him is this. I'm like Jose Canseco, outfielder, catching a fly ball and the ball hits him on the head. That's me. I'm like Bill Buckner, Red Sox, World Series, infielder, ground ball right to you. It would go through my legs. And I'm like Mickey Mantle of the New York Yankees, legendary, okay? He's the strikeout king of all time on his team. Well, maybe that's not me. He did hit a few home runs. So therefore, no, I never was a baseball athlete, but I enjoyed every moment of watching and helping develop. We have a saying in American Legion Baseball, and I try and use it each and every year to each and every player. Always have a stout heart in defeat. And I say, win the next damn ball game. Always keep your pride under in victory. And I say, win the next damn ball game. But you know, it's easy to say and so hard to accomplish. I learned long ago that success is not a destination. It's a process. And I try and live by that myself and instill that in coaches and players. It's not a destination, it's a process. Work hard. I've also been asked, what are the highlights of your career? Well, I have a couple that would tie for the best, and I have one that is, without question, the lowest of my career. I'll speak first of the lowest, and it must be mentioned because it's important. It should be important to anyone, but a few years ago, tragically, we lost one of our active ball players. He didn't show up that day for the game at Muzzy. We didn't know where he was. Little did we know that he had lost his life earlier that day, and I mention it as the low because to address a locker room of his friends, all our friends, was the toughest day I ever had in Legion baseball. But there were highlights, and I'm going to pick out two, but there were so many, of course. In 44 years, something gets done. The highlight first was, and I'll never forget this, Bristol's first entry into the World Series in 1974. Over 5,000 teams nationwide competed that year, and we were one of the final 8 in the country. And here's the highlight. Sure, we lost a couple games and came home from Oregon, but somebody in the city had planned a homecoming parade for us as we came from Farmington and into Bristol. Fire engines and police cruisers and people on both sides of various streets as we made our way to the post hall. We were on a charter bus, and we popped the emergency windows open, and we're sticking the arms out and waving to people. But what I'll never forget that year, tears streaming down Doc Gilhooly's face. Tears of joy. He had made it. The World Series. The other highlight didn't happen too many years ago, in 2008. Now, as host of the Northeast region, you're automatically an entry. And that particular year, we had not won the state championship. So we were entered as a host team, by the rules, all legit. All the other state champion teams from the entire Northeast were there to compete at Muzzy Field in 2008. Winning that championship and going to the World Series to this day as the only host non-champion team in the Northeast to go to the World Series. We defeated them all. That's a real highlight for me. So therefore, you know, in closing, I must tell all those that I know, my teams of the past, coaches of the past and of the future, that this award tonight must be shared with them because it was through them that I'm here. Therefore, I will. I am honored, I am humble, and I am grateful. Thank you to the Bristol Sports Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Good job, Paul.
Thank you.
Very well done. Congratulations.